Eli.
What's up, dude?
For the record, I did not want to do this. Eli talked me into it today.
Yeah.
It's good to have a business partner that
I know.
that forces you to do stuff.
It's like having a workout partner, man. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it, but they're there, so.
I'm lying, Eli. I didn't want to do this with you. Once you crack the wine. Happy hour today. We don't have a specific topic, so if that's not your thing, definitely unplug.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
That's kind of one of our things for today, and actually it's actually a little outside of my comfort zone, at least, because we don't have an agenda for today's podcast.
A little bit. No, we don't.
No.
No, it's good. There's a couple of topics that are floating around. I'm sure we can give our opinions on.
Yeah.
But everything is starting to wind down toward the holiday season. People are getting ready for Christmas. Real estate's starting to wind down. We had a good meeting. Good last meeting with our team.
Yeah.
Prior to seeing them next year.
Ton of cool shit coming up, man.
A lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a lot. We're going to talk about that stuff too. Not necessarily today. Today we're drinking empathy wine. We're having empathy for the world today.
That's right. What are we? Yeah.
I'm going to do my best. Yeah, man. Good stuff with the team. We have a lot of stuff that's coming up for 2020. So just looking forward to some of that stuff. And I don't mind a little downtime as well. Sometimes it's nice to not even just shut off per se, but I like alone time to just kind of get into my own head and do my own thing. You sharing the podcast finally?
I am.
So for the record, Eli is just out of his shit today.
I am. I don't have anything to do over here. I am just on my fucking phone. I don't have anything else going on at all. But
you think that if you're sarcastic on camera, it still won't kill you? Is that what this is? Like you think that you're safe because the public's watching?
It's a calculated risk. Yeah.
At best.
Live stream, man.
At
Shit.
best.
Yeah.
No, man, a lot of
it
good
is.
stuff. But we didn't have like a specific agenda. I do like empathy wines. I'm going to like it better if Gary Vee reaches out and listens to the podcast.
It ain't bad, dude. Yeah.
Not
It
bad at
ain't
all.
bad.
We're not big wine connoisseurs, so I'm not sure like if I'm
Connoisseur. Connoisseur.
whatever, dude. Don't get all
You threw like an
whatever
extra
on me.
letter in there.
I was being funny. Oh man.
Condescending connoisseurs is what we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Gary Vee's his wine library show where he like compared wine to like a dog's ass or something. Like he'd give like the everyday explanation if something wasn't good.
Yeah. Grass, dog shit people can actually relate to.
Yeah,
We all know
like,
what that smells
when you
like.
eat dog oh yeah, I know what that tastes
Dude,
like.
Megan and I, you ever been to or heard of Beatrice in Woodsley?
Nope.
It's a super fancy restaurant downtown. You would fucking
I feel
hate it.
like because you didn't switch the camera for me to respond, you already knew I wouldn't know
You would
that.
fucking hate it.
Okay.
But super cool inside. You walk inside, it's a little restaurant. They have one of those menus that's like new every week, and there's like aspen trees all inside. It's really fucking cool.
What makes you think I would hate that?
It's really cool. You would. But the ambiance is awesome. The atmosphere is cool. And Megan and I were there. And, of course, we, like, smoke a little before going in.
You don't belong there?
It was our anniversary or something like that. No, we definitely belong there. Like, it's a cool as fuck place. Just real fancy and stuff. But we get in there, and the fucking waiter comes over. And I swear to God, you know when someone knows their shit about wine, maybe you don't understand what they're saying.
Fuck that guy.
Maybe you don't understand what they're saying, but you can tell they know their shit.
Dude.
This guy came over, and he starts, we're
making
asking
that.
about wine and wine suggestions. We're getting a bottle. It's anniversary. And we're talking, and he's talking, and it's like the shit that's coming out of his mouth. I'm like, I don't know wine shit, but I know, you're full of shit. You're literally making stuff up. And we're asking like, hey man, what's like, kind of fruity, but not too dry.
Just that
And,
language.
dude,
I hate that.
He's picking some out, and then he's saying it tastes like the most random shit. He literally said like rubber with gum with pine bark. Like,
it's just like a pretentious way to talk when you're making fun
and
of
I've
something.
heard, like, I'll hear guys talk like that, but this guy was like, not even that. He was just literally making shit up. And Megan and I are looking at each other, and we're like, what the fuck? And we're literally like trying not to die fucking laughing. Terrible place.
I don't believe any of the wine stories.
Dude.
Like when they tell you like it's comes from a certain barrel or like someone's foot squashed a certain type of grape, and dude, I don't.
It's definitely a taste you have to like develop.
Or like whiskey, you're like this one's smoky.
It's a developed taste.
It's a dirty barrel,
Like,
man.
And the reason I believe it is because I 100% can do that with weed, whereas some people
God.
probably just like
You had to go there like a vegan.
it's a developed taste.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
it's a developed taste.
but
You
I'm
don't
the
have
guy
anything
where,
like
like,
that
look-
you're with?
No, man.
You're not like that with anything?
What?
Pre-workout? I don't know.
What?
Literally
Pre-workout.
Yeah.
Pre-workout? You think you think this is me? Like, yeah, get a picture of that. You think this is me? Like, darling,
if it's
morning.
gonna be with anything,
It's
it
gonna
would
be a
pre-workout.
fabulous
Yeah.
thing. My
Yeah,
pre-workout.
yeah.
It's got a little bit of grape.
You can
but
taste
not
the
too-
beta-alanine.
Get the fuck
You can
out of here.
taste-
No,
yeah.
you cannot. What the fuck? No, you can't.
There's nothing you like that with.
So for pre-workout,
Yeah.
I read the label and I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, man. Like I like what's in here.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's like, hey, man, I like that. It's got
Mhm.
it's got a good calendar on it.
Yep.
I'm gonna try it.
Yep.
Could care. I mean, it's if it tastes better than the other than something else. Like, cool, man. That's a
Mhm.
plus. I really wanted to feel my workout, Eli.
Yeah. Yeah. The purpose.
There
Right.
are some that are just you just can't choke down. They're really bad. But
Mhm.
I have like some people think like, oh, the worse it tastes, the better it is. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it's way bullshit.
Like right now, I'm taking that bucked up,
Yep.
and it's Banff.
Yep.
Badass motherfucker.
Yep.
Probably why it tastes good.
Yep.
Because when a badass motherfucker drinks it, it tastes badass. Right?
That's good
It's
stuff.
an acquired taste. You
I
gotta
need-
be,
I need to steal a
maybe
scoop
that
of
is
that.
mine. It's an acquired taste. You gotta be a badass for that
That's
to
what
taste
I'm
good.
saying.
I'm being
Yeah,
funny.
That's what
No,
I'm
but
saying.
so bucked up's Banff. I think it's like gin and juice.
Gin
It's
and
a
juice.
It's a flavor. It's
That's
awesome.
really
No,
good.
it tastes good. It's not
Yeah.
and I don't think any pre-workout just tastes amazing. But for what it is, it tastes good. I
Yeah.
don't have to choke it down. Some of you
Yeah.
have to choke
Yeah.
down. And it's got like the deer antler. It's got something. It works really well. I like it.
Mhm.
But as far as anything else, like I drink beer. What kind of beer? Beer? Is it a beer? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, you want
yeah,
a beer? Well, like I don't need a Stella. I'll drink a Stella.
Mhm.
But like if you offer me a beer, like if I come to your house, like,
You
hey
drink
man, I
a
want a beer.
beer.
Like, yeah, cool, man, I have a beer. I
Yeah.
don't get weird about that. No, I'm super
Yeah.
confused by your question because you know me.
Yeah. It's
What
just
do I
if you
get weird? Like
If you get super into shit, you
like
tend
my
to like.
my eggs have to be cage free.
I imagine trying a bunch of wine over time, you develop a taste for it and learn to taste little different things. That's what.
I'm just like imagining what I look like doing that shit.
Yeah. No, wine's not your thing. It could be whiskey.
I'm trying to figure out. No, I like whiskey, but like I don't mind Jack Daniels.
Maybe it's like an old
It's
guy
just an
thing.
everyday.
Maybe we just got to get old.
I don't
or
know.
just
I
get
don't know.
older.
Yeah, man, maybe I wish I were. I don't know. I feel like this podcast is getting super non-entertaining now. Fuck that. Fuck that. No, man, I'm just
shit.
not. I'm like, hey, man, you want some wine? Cool. Let's have some wine. You want a beer?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'll have a beer with you. I'm not, do I prefer some beers over others? Kind of. Pabst is good. We had Pabst at Tosh's house. I hadn't had that in a while. You know what makes beer good? When it's cold.
Oh shit.
That might be my pet peeve
That's
right
the
there.
beer hack right there.
Yeah, man, it's got to be because I'm not a big Pabst guy. We were up at Tosh's house and he pulled out some Pabst. Like, yeah, cool, man. I'm not going to complain about the kind of beer a guy gives me. Have a beer with you.
Super easy to drink.
But it was cold. And when a beer is cold, all for it.
Yeah.
I don't like, believe it or not, I'm gonna like not be a man right now.
What?
I don't fucking like. You know what? No, fuck that.
What?
Wine is cool. It's recreational. You know what's pissing me off are like the pale ales or the oats,
IPAs
boats, the
and all that
fucking
stuff.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking guys talking
Beer's
about
getting
them.
crazy, dude.
Like your beard and your cuff jeans and like
Yeah.
you're talking all weird.
Yeah, there's
Like
a whole
wine,
weird culture
like how
behind it
wine
now.
used to talk.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking your oil.
Yeah.
And I don't care what. None of those taste good. And like when you
I don't
when you
like
like
IPAs
support
either.
local beers, like they're even worse, man.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that. So, and I'm not a dark beer guy.
No, I like them.
I'm sorry, man.
They get too full. They make me too full though.
Yeah, somebody was telling me that Guinness actually has like less calories than like a normal
95.
beer or something.
95. And they don't
yeah,
even
they're
try
pretty
it.
clean.
They don't even try to make it low calorie. It just is.
Just is by the way it's made or something. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's not my thing. I don't know. Wine, pretty good, but I'm pretty neutral, man. If you want to have a beer, I'll have it. If it's cold, I can do it.
What's the deal with Empathy Wine, man? Is there
I don't
something
know.
special behind it?
No, I don't think so. It's Gary V's. I like Gary V. We talk about Gary V sometimes. I like Gary V. I like that he's got so the way he does his wine. I like I also want to see how it's packaged and branded. It came out pretty cool, man. Good box. Cool little quotes on the cork and things like that. And what I do, and most people just think for like individual use, right? So when you're looking at like ordering and what do you order, why you order, how you order, or whether it works for you or not, this works for me because it does taste good. He's got his rosés. You got the red one, the white one, whatever you guys call them.
Rosé.
No, red wine,
Oh,
white
yeah.
wine, whatever they are.
Yeah.
He's got some options on there. But you know what I do like is, you buy it in 3s or 12s or 6s or and you can also have a subscription. So you can, but it's like a $55 or $60 glass, a bottle of wine for like $20. I think you go straight to the farms, and then you get some information when your box comes on like the farmers and what they're all about and what they do in their store. Okay. It's pretty cool. So you get a history of the farms. But I like it because you and I, at least 3 to 4 times a month, 5 times a month, probably 10 times a month if we counted it. We have a client anniversary from their home.
Yep.
We have their or a wedding anniversary or a birthday or a new client who just closed on their home. Like there's a lot of things we have going on to a lot of people that we could like throw some stuff to. And I like it, man, because it's a good bottle. It's a good bottle of wine. It tastes good. Good quality. The packaging is cool. And for $20, I can just throw like a thinking of you. Like I can throw that on your porch. I can drop it off at your house and like, hey, happy anniversary for you and your wife. Or like, hey, happy anniversary on your home.
Right.
That's never especially for adults, like a good bottle of wine is never a bad
And it's
gift.
cool that it's not straight off the shelf.
It's not, and I can't remember who was like looking on Amazon. Don't quote me. Not the computer guy, but I don't think you can order that on Amazon. I think that's going to be direct from him.
You can't, yeah.
Because when I went on, I had to go on to Gary Vee's website.
You know what's good, man? That Proper 12 we got over there.
Oh, Proper 12, mate.
I know.
That's the only thing I can do in Irish.
Glasses with some ice in them.
That's Conor McGregor's. Came out good, man, whether you like the guy or not.
That shit's bomb. Out. Even from like a non-whiskey guy.
Yeah.
I think that that turned me into more of a whiskey guy. I never had been before. I love that whiskey.
Yeah, it's really good. I know you pick it up more than I do. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that one. But I do, and again, just looking at things from a different lens, like if you're looking at like, I don't need 3 bottles of wine. Why would I buy that? I don't know, man. Give one to your neighbor. Like it's fucking called empathy, for God's sake. Like have some empathy and go over and like say hi to your fucking neighbor. Have some
say hi to your fucking neighbor. God damn it.
Hey man, happy fucking Friday, and just drop off a bottle of wine. You might be surprised, man. Like, and believe it or not, like studies had come out, man, and we were looking at stuff when I was a police officer, and neighbors that talk to one another and communicate, safe neighborhoods, super safe. You remind your neighbor's garage door was left open, or you're kind of watching out for each other. And if something looks weird in a neighbor's house, you're peeking out and looking at it and throwing a flashlight over there to turn, like just people that take care of their communities, super safe. So it's never a bad idea.
Right.
Especially if you have children. I do like, and I could be a lot better at it. We just moved, to an undisclosed location, super baller. You know what I'm saying? That's as far as I'm gonna go with it.
Progress circle.
Shut up. But just in case of like an emergency, right? Your kids knowing your neighbors, as in like if something happens and they feel like they need to run, just being able to run to a neighbor's house and bang on a door and being welcomed, or just knowing who's in a house, right? Like, and I hate to say it, man, it's a super sad story. I'm not even gonna say the story. But there was a house fire one time, and, they thought everyone had gotten out. Not everyone had gotten out. And somebody died that night. And I'm not going to get into it. Super sad. However, the reason why they thought everyone had gotten out was because a neighbor kid was standing with some of the kids from that house. But just no one knew because they knew that, they didn't realize.
Know the actual kid. They're just like, I know they got a kid. They see a kid there.
Yeah. Super sad, right? Yeah. So, again, not for a Friday, not for happy hour. We're not going into that story. Yeah. I still battle that one sometimes. I was the first guy there. Not going there. But just for safety reasons, man. Like if a fire's at my house and I'm not home, but my family's home. I want if your neighbors know, hey, there's 3 people minimum in that house, that way they don't stop going in to grab someone because they know, or just your kids being safe to run aside to a neighbor. There's a lot of reasons why you can grab a bottle of empathy wine or whatever wine. Just go say hi to your neighbor and talk and just get to know one another. I love that kind of stuff. And if you're in business, it's relationships. Like if my neighbors don't know what I do for work, interesting, right? Because then when like someone else's sign pops up next door, and that's okay if they choose someone. But if they're choosing someone else because they have no idea what you do, like they have no idea you're in real estate, bummer.
And it doesn't take much, dude.
No.
It doesn't take much. You see them over the fence, stop and say hi.
And they'd probably rather use you. Like you live in that neighborhood, you know that neighborhood. They probably trust that you're going to do a good job in real estate. It's good. It's for stuff like that, man. It's good. So, So how he does it, again, bottles of 3 or 6 or 12, it kind of goes up incrementally. And it kind of sounds like a lot at first, but then when I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I could literally have a mini fridge easy in my garage, right? And just stack 12 bottles of wine of different, the reds, the whites, the rosés, because there's always something popping up. And dude, $20, that ain't bad. Like, especially when you're trying to give like a nice gift.
Yeah.
That outside of a gift card or something stupid, like it's really cool. So I like it from a business to business aspect of like, I like how he does it, because when you purchase or you're on a subscription, like you get more benefits from his online stuff. You get better prices. It really does become inexpensive. And again, man, like classic bottles, it's great tasting. Like, this is never a bad gift for adults. Never a bad gift.
So we got, you mentioned, you know, in the last 2 weeks of December here, and I always struggle at this time, dude, because it's like, even if you want to be productive, the rest of the fucking world, or I mean, the rest of our world is just not.
A little bit. Well, but you and I have been pretty productive lately, but it's because we've got some things coming up for 2020 where you and I have to get to the drawing board.
Yeah.
So it's almost nice that like less transactions are happening for like the last week and stuff, because it gives you and I time to kind of dive into our undisclosed location and just get to the drawing board and like, hey man, like, all right, cool. These are all awesome. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, but like, let's prepare for it. What does this look like? And just organize and prepare. That way, when it does present itself, you're ready to go, you know, because if you procrastinate on that time and you last minute stuff when you have, that's terrible.
Well, and that is one of the things I like about us, dude, is that when we, you know, and that's what I like about having, you know, a couple irons in the fire, right? Because when you do have some downtime in one area of your business, it does allow you opportunities to get some other shit done.
Yeah.
And we'll be good. I'll take Christmas Day off, right?
Oh.
Christmas Eve, I think we're going up to Megan's mom's house.
Never told me that. I had plans for you.
Did you on Christmas?
You're picking your wife over me. Weird.
We had matching jammies.
I guess
stuff.
I'll have empathy.
But you know what I mean? Like, I think we're both good about taking those concepts. Like, you know, I'm not going to fucking work on Christmas, right?
Yeah, no, and I'm glad we talked about this. I think it might have been like the last podcast, but we talked about, you know, like the up and flow of business, and like there's just always going to be that. Not everything is consistently up or straight across all the time, but that doesn't mean your productivity has to fall. There's just different ways of being productive, right? So if there's not as many transactions coming through, but you've got some things that you do need to get to the drawing board with, like take advantage of that and allow yourself to bring some of that stuff into fruition.
Yeah, because chances are there have been some aspects of your business that have been neglected or that have gone by the wayside while you were doing the business. Yeah. So like for us, we got our badass like CRM backend system, a new one. Up to speed. We're getting it up to speed. Huge build out on all that.
We mean you, because you're awesome at that shit.
Us, it's all collective.
No. I help you with like some of the ideas behind what the emails should say, where they go, and things like that. But as far as logistically putting it, that's you, man.
Systems and processes, dude, and you know, making the process easier on our agents on our team, making the process more clear, and you know, making it so our clients have to ask us less questions. The systematizing shit, man. I love that.
It's good, but there's an art to that too, because you don't want to just have some cliche bullshit and then your past clients or future clients, whatever you want to call them, like you're just harassing them because you're giving them the same drip cookie cutter bullshit. And like people think like, oh, that's keep them in your system for 7 years, and like it takes people 100 emails before they this and before that. Shut the fuck up.
That's one thing I like, is that we don't have a single drip email that comes out. Anything our clients get is specific to them.
Yeah, but there's systems to remind you.
Yes.
And then once the system reminds you, you got to go in and grab that, but it's prepared.
Yep.
But there's a couple things you do to it before you send it off, and it's good. I described it as a manual transmission instead of an automatic. Like there's a system in place and it's great, but it's manual, and you still got to shift these gears, and you still have to be deliberate with what you're sending out. That way it's not cookie cutter and you're still taking advantage of it, but you're scaling. And good stuff, man. But we've been working on that, like end of the year, like impeachment. It's been kind of popping off. Like that was fucking awesome. That was awesome because everybody online is like, oh, he's impeached. Then one person Googled that means nothing because it's from the House. So then everyone else was like, oh, some of you need to go back to history class because it doesn't mean shit until it goes here. And I'm like, listen, nobody fucking remembers high school. And if you do, then don't admit that. Nobody wants to hang out with you. Stop that.
I saw this meme. It showed Donald Trump on a computer, and then it showed like a Google search bar in front, and it says, what does being impeaches mean?
Yeah.
I thought
well, and so my thing, man, and I don't get stuck in politics, you know, like my experience and what we had to do post 9/11, it wasn't for that. And I don't get into that.
We're both pretty neutral, man. Like I think for the most part, I grab a little bit of this over here. I grab a little bit of that over here.
I don't grab any of it.
Well, I mean, you have beliefs, right? You have no beliefs.
at all.
Zero belief. Shut the fuck
Zero.
up. You're just difficult.
No, man. Like, I can't remember a time where politics just hindered my ability to go be successful.
Never.
And I've always been in a place where I've been on the grind, doing something in an attempt to make myself successful. I never had the time to look at it. And here's my thing. I know there's bullshit on both sides. There's Democratic stuff that's just garbage, and Republicans are laughing at it. But then there's stuff about Republicans that Democrats. There is lies and just smoke and mirrors with the media on both sides. So
100%.
my thing is anyone on social media, like, you're an idiot. You clearly can't see anything and you're not educated. Listen to me. You're like everyone else. The only education you have is the media, like we all have. To assume that you're more educated than others, like, they might not be looking at the stuff you're looking at. You might have a better grasp on some things. I'm not going to go into people's personal intelligence.
Yeah, you're only reading the shit that confirms your own bias.
But you might just be a smarter person. I'm not going to say there's not smarter people naturally. However, to think that you have access to more information and the information that you're grabbing is more correct than what other people see, you're not correct, man. You're just not. So for me, I really don't dive into it, and I don't try to piss people off. And I saw this guy, man. I can't remember his name. He deleted me. He didn't care for me. I wasn't mean to him, but he posted something, you know, and about Trump, you know, and like, oh, it was a bailout. Oh, yeah, Obama had a bailout, but all those banks paid it back with interest, yada, yada, whatever. And then, but Obama, he's bailing out the farms, and that's even more, and there's no payback, and whatever. Cool, right? I didn't comment. I'm looking at the comments, and this lady says, misled. She just thinks
they're misinformed, right? Yeah.
And this guy just starts calling her an idiot and this and that. And then she responds like, wow, like, that's not the response I was expecting. And you think that's any better? Or, you know, and he's like, you know, this all starts with idiots. Like, he just kept going off even more.
He was going off, yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. But in addition to the text where he was saying the banks for this, but the farms are worse, he was trying to sound, you know, like sophisticated or like the Democratic side is just better and more respectable and all this, you know, and clearly, you know, like Republicans are yada yada, and then just flash on someone. And I flashing on anyone when they just mention a word misled, you know, like, even if it's another guy, I don't think you should be calling people idiots and just flashing. But to a girl, and I'm not trying to say that there's no equality. I'm not getting into that. For me, I do try to be a little bit more respectful to females and bite my tongue but just the way he was flashing. So then I commented, and I was just like, man, I would love to have a conversation with a guy like you in person. You know, because like just how you're handling yourself is completely inappropriate. I bet you're not like that in person. I wasn't threatening him. I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to see you outside. Oh, bullshit. Yeah. I'm just like, you're dropping your 2 cents in here. You know, then this is the way you act to people. Like, I bet you're not like that in person, you know, and like says something. And I was like, oh, he tried to correct my spelling on cents. Right. And I was like, no, asshole.
You're like, nope.
Cents as in 2 cents for the 2 cents you just dropped.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be like this to people, man. Like, you're just confirming other people's views on your side. I just like didn't care for it. Anyway, deleted me. But I was like, that's what's going on right now. I look at it and it doesn't get to me, you know. But just watching, like, how angry people get over politics or people like disowning their family and friends, but then I'm like, and I can't confirm, but I'm like, I bet a large number of you didn't even vote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's this popular thing to be passionate about politics, especially ever since like the Trump administration, and it's super popular to be against it. And then when people started going against it, and then it started becoming even more popular to be for it, just that pendulum swing, right? Like, and now that's what we're doing. And then I'm like, are any of you voting? Or are you actually like diving into your local governments, and do you understand like how votes get passed through and where they start? And this isn't just about voting for who's president. There's a lot more. And I'm not saying I'm an expert. Like that little fancy talk I just gave, don't let that shit fool you. I'm just as uneducated as most others, besides my experiences deploying. You know, like, hey, like, I'm not going to sit here and throw out some fancy, you know, process words and pretend that I don't. I'm a moron.
I think that's part of it, though, dude. I think that's part of it. Like, I think people are...
it's so easy to just talk shit on your
Well,
phone
and I think
than to actually go get involved and vote and then try to make a difference, right?
that, and I think people are afraid to say, hey, I don't know enough about this, right? I don't know enough about this to have an opinion. And then they just don't, but they feel like they need to fall on one side or the other because their fucking friends do. And then it's like they just have to make shit up, which resolves to when they don't know what they're actually talking about, it just resorts to anger. In addition to that, dude, like people just don't like that anger, like just our brains are meant to like seek out problems, right? Identify problems.
That's a bold statement, is it?
No, it's true.
Our brains are meant to do a lot of things.
Identify things, identify problems and risks, and like our own like just protective mechanisms.
Sure.
The fucking like lion crouching in the grass, right? Like our brains are, and that's why so many things are automatic. Like,
right.
So
instinctual.
Yeah, instinctual. And when you don't have that fucking tiger sitting in the grass waiting to bite your ass, man, it's like your brain starts looking for other little points of conflict.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%, dude. And people just seek out that conflict, right? That's why road rage is as bad as it is, because people are just waiting they don't have any real fucking problems.
But a lot of and maybe that's subconscious. You can flip that to me if you like.
Oh, can I? Actually, I kind of like this, dude. I kind of like this.
Only because it's Friday.
I'm a little red today, dude.
Oh, you look good. You're drunk.
I tanned today.
No, you did? You tanned in December?
Yeah, tanning bed. Yeah.
I know what you meant.
They're all year long, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Me sitting over here all super white. I don't tan, I tattoo.
You're actually darker complected than I am.
Yeah, I am. I just I deliberately don't tan because I need you to have something.
I know. Thank you.
So I gotta let that go.
Thank you. Here's the thing, guys. Before Will and I started working together, I used to be like the in shape guy at the office, like the big guy. I used to be the fucking big guy. And then I started working with Will, and all of a sudden I look like a middle schooler.
I'll take the big guy, not the in shape guy.
I'm not the big guy anymore.
Oh, you're in good shape though.
No, I walked in. Actually, I didn't tell you this. I walked in by myself the other day, and John, our managing broker, I was walking by his office. He was like, "What's up, big guy?" And I was like, "Huh?"
Oh, sorry. I thought you were Will.
I was like looking around. I was like, man, I need to come in here without Will more often. I'm the big guy again.
But are you though? You're just letting somebody
again.
Like we've talked about this, letting people pat you on the fanny. So even when he says like, are you allowing yourself to like believe that, or do you know like I'm only the big guy because someone didn't show up? So maybe you should strive to be bigger and not allow.
Not
you know what I mean?
Somebody didn't show up. Will didn't show up. Most people, I am the big guy.
That sounds like.
Not Will.
Shut the fuck up. No, I know what you mean. But you have the tan over me. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
I just get tattooed.
It takes work, dude. I had to stand there for 9 minutes today, listening to Joe Rogan podcasts like this.
Oh, you did
9 minutes. Yeah, 9 minutes.
You tan like your butt cheeks.
I mean, yeah.
You tan your banana.
So I actually just switched it up for. As long as I've been tanning, I've always gone like the sock method because I didn't want any like weird.
How big is the sock?
Tan lines. It's a no-show sock. Holy shit!
Oh man,
it's a no-show sock. I almost said like the short crew, and I'm like, it ain't even that. It's a no-show sock.
Oh shit!
Great question, by the way.
But it fills it out width-wise, right?
Yeah,
hell yeah!
right.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I got that Jewish girth, dude. That's all I got. No, but now recently, I started just keeping my trunk like boxer briefs on.
Yeah.
But pulling them up. And then actually just yesterday, Megan and I are taking a shower together. And I haven't really ever had like tan lines there. I just started doing that like a month ago. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Too lazy to take my underwear off. And Megan looks down and she's like, what are your... So I shouldn't even say this. She was like, look at your gay tan lines. Like your little booty. She's like, what are those little boy booty shorts? Started going off, dude.
Oh my God.
And
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
Babe,
How dare her?
No guy wants to hear his wife say that to him.
No. I've never, I mean, I'm glad you protect your privacy.
I have to, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's
you got like massive UV rays coming down on that bitch.
Massive.
Yeah.
Massive.
And that guy hadn't seen too much UV ray.
No,
UV
man.
rays,
You don't, yeah. But as far as like the shorts, that's what I've always done.
Have you?
Because I'm thinking like tan lines are, if my tan lines are smaller than like what I would ever like wear, like if you're in board shorts or like shorts that like show your quads off.
Yeah, you're not gonna see it. Yeah.
you're still just not gonna see
Yeah,
it. Like if your wife thinks you're gay, like, fuck. who gives
See,
a
my
fuck?
problem is I like tried hiking them up. So instead of being like normal boxer brief length tan lines,
You look like you're wearing her
they're
bikini
these.
bottom.
Yeah. I think that was the
I
problem.
like it.
I think that was the problem.
like it.
And I don't have to bring my no-show sock with me every time. That's important.
Hey.
Yeah.
But a no-show sock fits on like a size 9.5 foot, right? So,
Actually, I'm
hey.
10 and a half, bro. Hey.
Good golly. Good golly.
That's
Good,
hilarious.
man.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
John called you big, so that made you feel good. That's good,
Yeah.
man. I like when
Yeah.
they call me. I don't know what they call me. Oh, I guess they could say that. We saw Brendan today. What'd he say?
Intimidating.
Big
yeah,
guy.
I hear
something.
intimidating a lot.
I don't like to be that.
I know. Yeah.
I don't think I'm always that.
Oh, you're not
I think once you get to
always.
know me, it's a little bit different.
I mean, yeah, but you can still be super intimidating.
I
mean,
can be,
yeah.
man, and that's okay. That's another thing. That's another fucking thing,
What?
right? Since we're having happy hour,
What?
just calling someone out. I kind of do that sometimes, right?
Kind of.
And I was talking to a guy. So
Understatement.
yep.
But yeah.
No, not in like work. I'm talking like just friends or
Yeah.
someone that you don't even know.
Bro, that's like your thing. What do you mean, kind of? That's
It's not my
like your
thing.
Why do you think people come to you for advice, dude? Because they know
But
you're
they're
going to call them out on.
No, I know, but I'm talking about calling a stranger out.
I'm just saying, but you okay.
Or calling an
someone
acquaintance
who
out.
doesn't know. Yeah, but
I'm talking about taking
you do
the
have a
initiative.
reputation for that.
When
Not
they
a
ask-
negative one. Just
Not
being-
a negative one,
yeah.
but like, yeah, if someone's asking for my advice, I'm going to call it like I see it.
Because
But
they
it's
know you
productive.
do that in
'Cause
all
they know I do that.
situations, though.
I'm talking about calling someone out that's not asking for it. Like
Right,
someone
right,
running
right,
their
right.
mouth,
Yep,
you know?
yep.
And I was talking to one of my buddies about this, and I called this guy out, and all good. I didn't kill him. And wait, no, he lived. And he was like, "No, man, don't let these guys get to you." You know, and I was like, "Nah, he didn't get to me, dude. I'm gonna go home, eat a bowl of cereal, go to bed, all good, man. Right? Like, yeah, but nah, he got to you though. Like, why? Because you said something.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Listen, man. There's this whole thing of like being the bigger person and like, oh, if you say something, then that means that the guy below you just won. Oh, you said something. He wins. Oh, he got you. Right? So he like, what do you mean he won? He didn't get me. And sometimes, man, people just, depending on what they're doing, like they need to be called out and go, hey, man, what you're doing is completely inappropriate. Not okay. You know, like, doesn't mean that I like lose my shit. Doesn't mean it gets the best of me. Doesn't mean I don't sleep that
Here's
night.
what I understand.
I don't like that misconception, man.
Here's what I understand about you in that situation, but that I think other people don't who say things like that, probably because they don't know you, is because most people who cause conflict per se or call somebody out or something, they're saying it because they're personally offended because of like something that person may have said about them that probably had a little bit of truth to it, which is why it hurt extra, which is why they're like, quote unquote, calling them out, right?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people calling anybody out are doing it because they're personally offended about something that a person did or said.
Yeah.
With you just call out bullshit, whether it has anything to do with you or not. That's the thing about you that I think a lot of people don't get to see.
But it's
Which
right. And
Well,
when
and that's the way to do it.
and when
Like,
I
that's
do
how-
it, I'm not like, hey, motherfucker, what
No.
the fuck? Like, I'm not that. I might look like that. I'm not that. I'm not. That ain't me. You know, but like, yeah, man, if something's not true, like, hey, man, that's not true. Or, hey, dude.
But that's the respectable part about the way you do it.
I'm the
You just
yeah.
do it. You just call out bullshit. Like you're that
Yeah.
guy, and that's why people are attracted to you, dude. Because you just call out fucking bullshit.
But we all should. You know, and like, man, that's not just me. That's probably the Marine Corps in me. You got a bunch of brothers that just don't let you get away with shit, man. If you're fucking lying, bro, you're fucking lying. You know, and you got to have integrity with that, and it's just useful. And in addition to that, like, if I saw a guy like yelling at his wife in public, I'm also the guy that's gonna say something. Like if we're at Chili's, you know, like if you and I are on a super romantic date or something, and some dude is just causing a scene and speaking to his wife a certain way or whatever, I would be like, hey man, like, hey, try to calm down. Like I'm not gonna go there, like I'm not gonna go escalate it.
Yep.
Like, hey dude, not here, man. You good?
But you're to let
Hey
him
dude,
know,
go
hey,
for a walk.
I'm
I'll
aware.
be nice. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, go for a walk, or hey man, like, hey, you know,
Yep. Let's chill.
pay attention to where you're at, you know? And like hint, dude, don't do that in public. Like, because whatever the topic is that you're mad about, that's just not helping. And I don't want to see that. And if you're making it my business, well, it's not your business. They're not talking to you right. But you're, if I'm sitting there trying to eat dinner, and that's what you're doing.
And my daughter's here and she's hearing you cuss and shit.
Or my daughter starts thinking that that's acceptable because men start talking like that. And I got to watch myself sometimes. It's not like I don't get mad. Yeah, I'm a guy would probably like not to go over and be a white knight.
The world needs that, dude.
And dude, I'm not going to go over there and be a white knight to try to steal your girlfriend and act like she's never done anything wrong. No, she's probably a bitch. Fine, whatever, dude. But just,
it's funny.
Conduct.
Yeah.
Right? Like pay attention to what you're doing and just try to be better. So, sometimes I think that we need that. Not that that has anything to do with today.
We need people like you in this world, man.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
Limited.
Yeah, we do.
But we have them though. I've introduced you to some of them, man.
Yeah,
and they check
they're
me.
there.
You met one today, man. We spoke to Brendan. Brendan's a colonel.
Super cool guy.
Yeah.
Super
Lieutenant
cool
colonel,
guy.
getting ready to pick up full bird colonel in the Marine Corps. And I worked with him for a long time. And it was so funny, dude, because we hadn't talked in a while. And then I reached out to him once or twice, and he was always around for me, man. He was kind of around for me like in some dark days and just helped me out through some transitions and, for lack of a, elaborate explanation right now. And he was a good dude for it. And in the Marine Corps, there's a lot of guys that don't really make it out and become successful sometimes. They never let go of certain things or, they deserve the world, but they're kind of holding on to some stuff, right? And they're just not, man, they just got to find that next mission, and they can't really get out of a rut. But leadership, they're always around for them because you don't want to, not be there for that guy. But you just wish he would kind of dig himself out of that rut, And so when you do, and you're not that guy, and you are successful, and you're doing some good things, you want to just pay that forward to guys that have been around. And I remember talking to him twice, and he was super busy or something. Hey, Grimes, I'll call you back. Cool, right? He would never call me back. And then fucking guy, I think it was for the birthday or something. And he was like, it might have been, what is this, December? So it's November. Yeah, it might have been for the birthday.
The Marine Corps birthday. Yep.
Happy birthday, Marine. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck you, man. Don't thank me. I didn't do it for you.
Oh, shit.
And he was like, what? And I was like, hey, dude.
He was, what?
yeah. And now that you meet him,
shit.
you know how laid back and just kind of you're not going to make that guy mad.
Yeah.
And he knows me,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, hey, man, we've spoken a couple times. You've never gotten back to me. Cool, man. And if you're that busy or whatever it is, but keep me off of your fucking cliche corporate, thank you for your service text message.
Here, one quick thing about Will. If there's anything remotely cliche, remotely templated, remotely shortcutted, remotely copy and pasted, remotely just didn't pay the slightest little bit attention to your shit, or you cared less than you probably should have, he will fucking spot that a mile away.
Or just not calling your own stuff, right? I don't expect excellence. I just expect, because dude, I'm not perfect either.
No, but I'm not talking about perfection. I'm talking about shortcuts.
Right.
You hate shortcuts.
Man, I do. And I can tell I was on a group message.
And he can see that shit from a mile away.
And I'm like, listen, bro. So and he texted back. I can't remember what it was. Super kind and probably borderline sarcastic, because that's him. And then we were talking on the phone. He calls me, and I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Hi, Grimes. So what's going on?" I just told him, and he's like, "No, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blow you off like that, man. I had a ton going on and this and that, but there's guys I don't talk to for 5 years, man. I thought it was cool that you were on my list to say happy birthday to." And I was like, "I didn't see it like that, man. I'm sorry. I've been trying to get a hold of you, and it was fine." But he finds his ways to check me, and he's always you met him. He's that.
Yeah.
He's always going to choose that calm, whatever, because it's different. Even, and I wasn't mad, I don't do that to him. But I'm just more vocal, or maybe my command presence is different. So he just kind of he doesn't mirror that. He'll always do the other one because he knows it brings, with me, less is more. Kind of brings me down. I'm like, oh, hey, man. Yeah. Hey, sorry, man. Fuck, and it was cool. But it's not like I don't have people that check me.
No, well, dude, and here's the thing. you seek that out, dude.
I do, man.
You do.
Big
you seek
time.
that
Like,
out.
I'm okay to say, and we don't talk about it much, but I'm okay to say I'm sorry. Or
that's why I
see
sought
things
you
from a
out,
different
dude.
Perspective. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I've said I'm sorry to you. Like, I don't know.
Well, no, that's
12
why.
times
Like,
this year.
I knew I just didn't have anyone in my life checking me. I didn't have anyone telling me I could be doing better. I didn't fucking have that.
And it's not and when we talk about check, guys, it's not about like you're fucking wrong. It's like no, like mistakes are gonna happen. But when it's like something to be wrong, but then you still allow yourself to do it anyway, that's where you got to be careful. You know, like or like when you support one another too much. Like if I mess up and Eli's like, yeah, man, but it was a busy week. Like no, stop it. I thought about doing this video 3 times this week. I put it off twice and didn't even tell you about it. The third time I told you about it and didn't remind you.
Right.
Dude.
Right.
There was time. I know we got busy. No, don't do that. Don't support. No. And it's more stuff, so things like that. But I think it is needed. It keeps you honest. It keeps me honest with my material. If I come out with some wackadoodle shit, man, I'm going to get a couple phone calls. Like, hey, bro, love you. Delete that. Or not delete it, but like just give you some perspective or, hey, just kind of,
like having getting a different person's perspective, dude, is so helpful. Like, and that's
who you're getting it from is helpful.
Yeah, exactly. And who you think you are, especially when I'm younger, dude. Like, again, you think at every point in your life, okay, now, like, until you get older, you're like, okay, cool, I'm 21. I got it figured out, right? 23. Okay, cool, I got it figured out. And you don't really realize that you don't have it figured out till you're older. But the problem is, like, I can think of a few phases in my life where I'm like, damn, I wish I had someone to fucking check me. That way that phase was 4 weeks and not 3 years, you know?
I used to get mad when somebody I looked up to made a mistake because I think I would, like, unintentionally – oh, thanks, buddy. I think I would, like, unintentionally just put higher like, remember when you were a kid, like, you think your parents got it all figured out?
Yeah.
They don't. They're just here.
Superheroes, man.
Listen, man, they're just here, not necessarily superheroes. I don't know if I ever thought that, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you just think they got it figured out.
Yep.
And then you start hearing about their bickering or their fighting when you were kids, and you start looking at it for what it is, and you realize, like, they're just here trying to figure it all out like we are.
Yeah.
But when you look up to people, you got to be careful with not putting them on a pedestal. Because when you do that, like subconsciously, you're like expecting them to be perfect, or they're always on it, they're always ready to go, they're always prepared. And then when they're not, or something happens, and you're like, oh, what's that all about? Like, no, like, and that's not fair. Like, you just have to realize, like, yeah, man, they're human. Like, they might be great at a lot of things, but they're still gonna make mistakes. And that's why you know, like for me, like I don't necessarily listen to everything someone says.
Yeah.
You know, like Tosh and we had a conversation, not necessarily about self-promotion, but it was that with some other things. And we were talking about just branding and self-promoting different stuff. And we had a really good conversation about it. And him and I see differently on it. And after talking, it made me see more why I agree with myself instead of him. And it solidified his. And so even when I take advice or I listen to people, it doesn't mean that I have to then just, agree with everything that they do. Like, that's not what a mentor, if that's what you guys call it. I don't currently have like one. I've got a couple guys that I look up to that help me.
That's what a mentor is.
Okay,
that's exactly what a mentor is. Yep.
But I'm gonna take what I can from something and leave what I can't, and just try to be a thinker and really, and that's where, like, if you're looking for a mentor, if you have a mentor, they shouldn't just be telling you what to do, or if you even if you don't have one, like, no one should be telling you what to do. Like Tosh would never be like, we'll do this, unless I'm like risking my family or health or integrity or morals, something, right? Like, it's just more thought process on like, look, man, you're going to be who you are. Figure out a way to just like have a thought process to come up with decisions that you think are sound, stand by them, work through them. Also, don't be afraid to change your mind if for some reason, like once you get to that conclusion and then you act upon it and then you realize maybe it's just not the best scenario, don't be afraid to go back on and go, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, hey, I thought that was the right thing to do. And after I got done with it, it just didn't feel right. And here's why. And you know what? Changed my mind. That's okay too.
Yep.
But you've got to change your mind because you say so, not because, like the person you like. Like, remember when you look up to like your older brother or someone popular in school, and like someone likes a movie, so you like the movie, but you haven't seen the movie, or oh yeah, I'm a Yankee fan too. We don't even watch baseball, but like someone you like or a girl you like is a Yankee fan, so like now they're a fan. because you're trying to fit in, or
Yep.
or because like the
Yep.
person you look up to likes them, so you want to. And I'm not saying that's a bad trait when you're younger. I think some of it's natural, but you have to graduate into a point to where, hey, what I think is best for myself is what's popular to me, and whoever I'm around, they should be okay with that too. Because I shouldn't be doing something so terrible Tosh never wants to talk to me again.
Yep.
Because not right, like there's something super bad. Like we can be different people, but then still coexist and still and I can still seek guidance.
I think it's smart to seek guidance, but still have your own opinion. And if you like,
mandatory, man.
It absolutely is, dude. And why that's important, especially to like find an opposing view, is because that's probably not the only person with that view. And for me, like if I don't believe that way, I at least like being able to see, okay, well, I see how you could think that. That's not my opinion, but I see how you could think that, and I think this is better for everybody.
Just going through like productive debate style conversation. If I can overcome some of his questions, it just helps me further believe in what I'm doing.
Right.
Versus like not kind of being unsure.
But having that person in your life is, and usually it's a person or two people, right? Or three, maybe. It shouldn't be more than three, right?
I don't know.
But just having those people around you that are going to do that. And guys, seek them out. If you don't have them, Will intentionally nurtures those relationships with the guys that do that. I conjured Will up in my life to do that.
I love how you take credit for me.
Sure. I did.
Literally everything I've done in my life was God preparing me for Eli's blessed life.
Here's where it was.
That should be our podcast, Eli's blessed life.
Here's where it was. Our paths were like this, right?
You're so cute.
Our paths were like this.
Yeah.
But they were ever so slightly like not parallel. Just barely tilted in towards
Just
each other.
barely.
Just barely.
Just barely. Our 20s were like so
over
similar.
the course of like a lot of
Yeah.
time. Eventually we're going to intersect, bro, when the time was right.
Yeah, that's super romantic.
When the time was right. Yeah.
Oh man, and you like when you say like, you shouldn't maybe have more than 3. Maybe.
You just don't need too many opinions in your life. Not that there's a set number.
Well, but here's the thing: like maybe like you have an opinion, for your career, but then maybe you're talking to somebody about fatherhood, or I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
I also think like whoever I'm getting opinions from, I would hope that they're well-rounded in life. Like I'm not gonna go ask somebody, like career advice or like what we're doing in real estate, but like they're a terrible father or their life just isn't together.
Same.
But, hey, they're a hustler and do a couple hundred deals a year. Like man, they crush, but like they're just unstable. Because I'm like, man. I'm not saying there's any rhyme or reason to it. It just doesn't feel right. I gotta respect you as a human being, not mistake free, but just respect you as a human being to get advice from you. I can't just like put all that stuff to the wayside.
Right.
I get but then get business advice from you, or vice versa. Like no, like you aren't morally, like you don't have any ethics.
You want to look at the big picture.
Business, but like I'm gonna talk to you about being a father. Like I don't know what you're cutting corners on. And
dude, that's important.
Dude, here's the thing too, man. And I saw this as a cop, and this is when I realized like how really careful you got to be with like getting advice from people. And this isn't to bag on the police world. Like that's a super hard career. But I will say this, man. There were some cops that I met that could go around all night and go to domestics and whatever, civil dispute, and like go around and like tell everyone what to do to just solve the problem and solve their life and give all these directions, all night at work. But their own life was in shambles. And it's like, hey, like the advice you're giving when we're on these calls, like, is that real advice?
Where the fuck's that?
Or is that just what like you think you should be doing? Right. But like, is it real?
Yep.
Like, do you even believe do you even believe the bullshit that's coming out of your mouth? Like, you really have to be careful, because when you're asking for advice, it's like, is that real? Or are you concocting something that you think sounds appropriate?
Yeah.
Are you regurgitating something that you heard from somewhere else, but you don't have enough context to speak to it, and maybe there's some slight differences and you can't see them because you've never done it? I really, really have a hard time with that. So for me, like who I seek guidance from, it's guys that I trust that would tell me they don't know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or guys that just fall back on like fundamentals. Because I think a lot of things fall back on that. So just be careful with that.
Yeah.
Because we could sit here and probably conjure up some stuff as far as like car sales. Because we're in sales. You and I could probably talk car sales right now. And like, hey, if you're doing this and you're doing that every day, and like, hey, when a customer comes on the lot, you know what? if you did this
we can
instead of
bullshit
that,
all
like,
fucking day, dude.
and it might even, and some of it might even work because
Yeah.
we just understand sales. But
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you can't speak to that, and it sounds good and it sounds believable, but it's just not okay.
Yeah.
Especially if someone's trusting, and to the point to where they're actually going to go try to implement your advice. Man, you gotta be fucking careful.
The ability for some people to believe their own bullshit amazes me sometimes. Like
Hence why I call people out sometimes.
I'll talk to people sometimes, dude, and like I know that they know they're full of shit, but what they look so like they believe it so much when they're talking to me.
That's when you go, hey, you don't believe that, dude. Come on, look at you.
Dude, they're so convinced, and I'm just like, I have a problem at, I don't know, the people can just like let go and like fall into these things of like, yeah, just believe in their own bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's because they've never been like tried or tested or punched in the fucking face. I think that's a big thing
Metaphorically,
too. No, I mean like physically.
Oh, literally.
Like,
yeah, that helps too.
Oh, dude, you become real fucking like a believer of your abilities when you're like, oh, dude, I'll just fucking, I'll do this to him. I'll whip his fucking ass. And then you get in a fight with someone that
didn't Joe Rogan call his buddy out for that?
Dude, yeah, he did.
He's like, Brian Callen, right?
Yeah, yep.
He's like, no, you would not do that.
No.
Right?
Dude.
When it's, oh, I kicked that guy's ass. Like, no,
he
you would
believes
not.
his own bullshit.
And he's like, no one's ever called you out. And he's like, oh, and so if a guy the size as Brendan that was trained in a professional fighter who's a top 10 heavyweight came to your house because you guys were talking trash on Facebook, you're going to knock him out. Yeah, like, stop.
No, you're not going to do anything.
I think those people. Off, yeah.
Those are those people. The people that believe their own bullshit, like, those are people that haven't been punched in the fucking mouth, literally.
Or just been called out like by friends and things like that. But sometimes that's why it's important to people you're around. But I don't really have anyone around that I call out. Not much, man. Like
all of us. All of us. What do you mean?
Man,
all
like,
of us.
me,
our entire team.
No.
But by call out, I mean
like my close group of friends. Like
just pointing things out.
Like the guys that I've seeked out, like they're pretty locked on, man.
But also, here's the thing. Like anyone that you're close with in your life has the appropriate mindset where they're okay with that.
They're checking their shit.
And they want it.
And I try to have that parameter myself. Like if Eli finds something to call out on me prior to me finding it, I don't think so. I think I can feel it, and
you
I
always
just let
find
it go.
I never have to say anything because you always find it.
Yeah, or like I find it, you're like, no, man, like it's been a busy week. No, don't do that for me. Let me just say I was wrong.
You pay attention, dude. You pay attention to everything around you, but the most important part that I see, because I'm with you all the time, that I think people probably don't see usually.
I get tired. I get lazy.
Well, you do it with yourself though. Like you check yourself. You call yourself out.
I do the best that I can to do. Yeah,
dude.
But sometimes, like when I get checked, it might be more just small things or incrementals. Like I don't get checked much on like wiping my ass and being productive every day. Like I've graduated
as
from there.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
But like so for example, like when I was talking to Tosh and we were talking about sales and a couple different things, and I was like, yeah, man, like someone's intent just has to be good and this and that. And he was like, man, I don't care what someone's intent is, I just want to know what it is. And I was thinking that their intent, I can't remember what the topic was, so I'm off the hip here, but I was focused on someone's intent needing to be pure, or you know, or whatever. And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I need to know what the intent, like I just need to know where it's coming from. Versus like whether it's good or like, I don't care if you're trying to pitch something, if you're trying to sell something or whatever, just be honest about what you're doing. So if you're trying to get a sell, be honest, and like the whole bait and switch kind of thing. He could care less whether it's for nonprofit. Well, I'm speaking for him now. Don't quote that. But the cliff notes of it was like, whether it's for nonprofit or for personal gain or whatever it is, fine. I don't care. He just wants to know what it is versus you coming off one way, but then like really kind of like if someone were to like he doesn't care if you're rich and run a nonprofit. Yeah. As long as it's clear that like not every dollar goes to homeless people. Yep. And it's like, no, man, like I live lavishly, but I also still help a ton of people. And here's the deal, man. 40% of the money is going to go to this and the other 60% is going to go to my payroll and myself. Like,
Yep.
I think that's what he was really trying to say was like, just be upfront about your intentions. Who cares whether they're pure? Who cares if I agree with your intentions? Just be honest with what they are so people know what they're getting themselves into from the get-go versus like the bait and switch.
Yeah, when people appreciate that, dude, that's super rare.
But for me, it was a good lesson. So that's where like, and I guess he didn't check me I wasn't getting checked. We were just having a conversation, but it was good, like a little bit of enlightenment, because I was still kind of stuck in the ways of like, I need to agree with your intent.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your intent needs to be my intent.
Right.
If I were you, your intent should be what my intent would
I
be.
would have
You
done.
need to be
Yeah.
on, like not necessarily honest, but you like, I felt like it had to be what I would want it to be.
Yep.
And it's like, no, not necessarily. You just need to be clear and on the same page. I'm like, yeah, I think that's actually what I really want to say. But I've been saying this because maybe some of my perception in that, especially with business or something, it's just limited. You know, like, okay. Now, okay, yeah. If you know the agenda and you know what you're getting yourself into, like, cool, right? And hey, you don't always have to agree with everything and certain things. So there's, I think that's where I get checked, are like little, just small incremental adjustments to a thought process. Hey, what if you saw it from this side? Or hey, what if things were this instead of, you know what I mean? But I'll take that and run with it for 6 months and I'll process it. You know what I mean? So I think that's where I'm at, is just more. No, man, you don't got to rah-rah me. Yep. You don't got to motivate me to wake up and be productive and wipe my ass. And I'm graduating.
That's the best spot to be in, dude. That's the best spot to be in, because you're right. If you've got to take those major, if you're addicted to fucking coke, you're doing this, those major like swings. It's like, all right, we've got bigger things going on.
Yeah, man.
Bigger things going on.
There's just some fundamental, or even if you're on one. Like if you're super productive, but you're only productive if you're coked out.
Yeah, right. No
Look,
shit.
man, that's almost worse, because now it's really hard to come off of something if it's like, and you could replace coke with being dishonest. Like, what if there's some things about your business you're being dishonest with,
right?
But you're on a roll.
Yep.
And there's just no accountability. It's almost like scary. Even harder to like check that habit, right? Because it's like, it's proven successful, but it's like now it's a ticking time bomb, right? It's like a jack in the box of like, well, you never know if and when it's going to blow up, but if it did, would it be bad? But you talk yourself out of it saying it wouldn't, and you start justifying what you do. And then when you start justifying your actions to explain that to yourself or so you can sleep at night, that's a weird place to be in, I bet.
Well, what I think like the perfect blend as far as that checking goes is like, when somebody, let's say, messages me and it is kind of a shady way, it's a loophole, or it's a not loophole, but it's a conversation is just being a segue into an MLM, right? They're coming in, they're acting like they're my buddy or something, and then the pitch comes, right? Instead of getting like mad and upset about the way they went about it, and then hey, like be honest.
I do. I'm like, fucker.
I always paint the picture in my head, because it's usually fucking true that's how they were told to do it. That's how it's been. But that's how it's been done to them. Not okay.
Yeah, but be a thinker.
But literally, that's all that they do. So then, that perfect blend is, hey man, here's the conversation, right, about how you might want to go about this.
Right. I do try to give that point. And look, I'm not an MLMer, right? Multi-level market. I don't do that stuff. I'm not against it. Yeah, I am. Maybe. I'm against how it goes.
Yeah, I don't like him either.
Personally, because it annoys me. But
I don't like him either.
I think if I were to do that, I would just be honest. Like if I were to reach out to people like, look, man, I know we haven't spoken in 5 years. I'm diving into this project. It's multi-level marketing. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Here's a couple of the differences. Here's where I'm at success-wise so far. Here's what it's supposed to project. Is that something that you'd like to do, man? Is that something you'd like to do? But at least I'm calling the elephant in the room and not pretending like I fucking talk to them.
That's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
However,
hypothetically, because I don't do it, so I haven't proven it successful. If I did that to 100 people and got nothing out of it, I can't say it's
the correct way to do it.
You might get a lot of like, hey, thank you for being honest. No, right? Like you just never know.
It's the correct. Well, not saying it's going to convert better.
And I can't say because I don't do it.
Whether or not it converts better or not. But I'm saying that's the correct, honest way to do it, right? That people will respect.
By the way, if you're listening and you do that stuff, don't hit
people
me up
will
with
respect
my own recipe.
But here's the thing. It's like, I also don't expect them to know the perfect way to do it, because it's only done shitty.
See, this is where I'm harder.
It's only done shitty.
I know.
So correction.
But see, here's the thing, man. See, and I bless your heart. This is like, look at how real estate's been done.
Yes.
Okay, and I haven't been around that long. And it took me 5 minutes to go like, hey, that's not honest. Hey, what's that? Hey, that's a fucking gimmick. Hey, that's annoying. That's harassing. And I just stayed true to like what I thought honesty was. And I don't do things, or you don't do things like everybody else, or maybe you did till me. I don't know. I can't speak for you, so I don't want to speak for you. But just because that's how something's been done doesn't mean that you just don't have any brains to go like, man, I wouldn't do it like that.
Most people just don't do it that way.
You know, here's what happens. Most people, when they put the salesman hat on, they forget what it's like to be a customer. And you go against your gut. You go against the feeling of like, hey, man, all these scripts you just took home and your multivitamin that you want to say, hey, listen.
But that's what's being taught, dude.
You were a customer. Wouldn't this be annoying?
That's what's being taught.
This would be so annoying. Hey, right?
They're putting their faith.
There's got to be some brilliance and simplicity, man.
They're putting their faith in the leaders that are telling them to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's use real estate example. Every real estate, the biggest, most credibility, everyone says they're fucking great real estate training companies, train fucking bullshit. Train scripts. Yeah. And then train people to memorize fucking scripts.
And scripts might have been okay for a little while because people just didn't.
But that's what they're telling them to do.
Voicemails and emails.
And then the MLM companies are telling them, "Hey, send this message to your people."
Well, it's all attrition too. Like if you can just get people to put a significant amount of effort, even if they're not great at their approach, it's just a law. So, it's just a law of numbers at that point.
But that's where
if you can
like,
get somebody to make 1,000 calls, whether they're shitty at it or not, somebody in their life,
someone's gonna hit,
is gonna be desperate and not like their wife or something at that moment and want to make an extra buck and have always thought about MLM but hadn't done it until now. Yeah. Right? But like you just happen to make the phone call.
For the people that are doing that stuff, that's where I try not to immediately blame them. As far as like, all right, you probably learned this from somewhere. Someone probably told you to do this. This is my opportunity to show you how it should be done. But hey, better luck next time.
You go, hey, listen, don't ever call me again. But before I let you go, I'd like to throw you some advice.
You see what I mean, though, right? Like,
no, I know what you mean.
It's just, but that's just how bad marketers are. That's how bad these.
I'm just not, man. Like I'm trying to get down. I'm trying to get down to your level of forgiveness in humans, and I just don't. Like I had a buddy talk to me about.
Do you need some more empathy wine? Is that what you need?
I just poured more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm drinking this shit.
I'm surprised by the lack of empathy.
Man, sorry, Gary. Send more bottles.
Yeah, we need to fucking extra empathy.
Yeah,
wine,
man. Stop wearing K-Swiss, man. You were an Air Force One guy like me. Get Nike to get you a fucking deal. Stop settling.
Stop settling.
Stop settling, fucker.
That's awesome.
No, man. Yeah, K-Swiss is cool.
Yeah. I did buy 2 pair. I bought one for me and one for Will.
Those are awesome. Never wore them. I got them autographed.
There you go.
I didn't. No, man. Like my buddy prior to real estate, he was talking to me about getting involved in like financial advisement.
Oh God. Sorry, guys.
Like 401ks and life insurance and all this stuff. And I was like, hey, man. I did. I said that. I say that a lot. I don't make that up. I say that. Hey, man.
If you ever hear "Hey, man" or "no disrespect" from Will,
I don't say no
you're
disrespect.
You're about to get fucked up.
No, that's not true, man. I'm empathetic. I go, hey, man. Like, I appreciate you looking all this stuff out. And I went to his office, and he said, because this is when I was like leaving the fitness world, and I'm looking at running something for myself, you know, and we're going over that stuff, and he's like, hey, bring your lady in. We'll talk about it, whatever. And so I'm like looking at it, and he's going over stuff. I'm just like, hey, dude. None of that makes fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, like which part? And I go,
all of it, dude.
What do you mean which part? Oh, there was separate parts? No, all of it. 1,000% in the black. Okay. And he's like, oh, it's okay, man. Like, all right, let's break this down. I go, no. All right, let's look at this. And like, no, dude, you're going to be fine. Like, you know, like you'll learn the scripts. And I remember him saying that. And I was like, hey, because I had helped build a fitness company to be a significant size. Yeah, like I'm good with people and relationships, and if I'm behind something, I'll sell the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, it's because I'm behind it. It's because I believe in what I'm selling. I believe in what I'm doing. For me, for the life of me, I could not imagine like working with him and selling that, because right now, like it's starting to make sense to me. We talk with Gavin a bit, and he talks all that shit, and I listen, and so it's making more sense, but not to a point where I should be telling you where to put all your money. Like, dude, I don't know. Put it in a mattress. No, like, don't say that. Okay, sorry. Fuck, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, dude, that's just not me, man. He's like, no. And like, I remember one time I was in his office when I went. I was like, hey, and he's introduced me to one of his buddies. His buddy was there and a little arrogant. And I'd never met the guy. He's like, hey, this is my friend Will. He's thinking about this, but and this guy had done real estate before.
Okay.
So he's like introducing me to him. And he's like, yeah, that's my friend Will. Like, he's looking at teaming up with us, man. But he's also like looking at some real estate. And he just like looked at me. He's like, dumb.
Oh.
And right out of the gate, I'm like, I ain't working with you, dude. I'll fucking kill you. Like,
oh my God.
and it's not because he didn't know me. And I know he like didn't mean, but what he was telling me was like, it didn't work for him.
Yeah.
That's what, but when something doesn't work for someone, you want it to not work for anyone. Like, oh, dumb. Market's dropped or, dude, I made I'm not going to say it. No, fuck that. The IRS is listening. I made a lot of money my first year of real estate, more than that guy ever accomplished.
Yep.
And then we're growing from there, and we'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, feds. Sorry, feds. Be a little empathetic, all right?
Yeah,
Give me some time. I'll pay it back. I just told you I don't know shit about this stuff. Right? Like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
You know the feds are listening.
Yeah. I didn't know it was against the law.
Yeah. Like, remember when Nate Diaz was like, no, we don't know about this stuff. These guys don't protect us. Shit, I ain't paid my taxes in 5 years. And he said that.
He did?
At a fight night.
Oh,
at a post-conference. Guess what?
Ah, fuck.
Dude paid his taxes like the next day because he's getting hit up. Like,
damn.
Good job, bro.
Damn.
But for me, like, I just like, dude, I don't understand this stuff. And when that guy said that, I was like, you guys are just recruiting what you think are good salesmen.
Yeah. Yep.
And like, you just told me dumb. So you just like, and that's your way of like, one, saying it to yourself because it didn't work for you. Secondly, convincing me that it's dumb and like I should be around this crew. What's more important is, look, maybe I am good at sales, but you got to figure out what makes people good at sales. Okay.
Yes.
What makes me good at sales is the integrity of it, of the integrity I choose to have with it, because not everything in sales has integrity. So the integrity I choose to have with sales, it's all relationships. It's all doing a good job. It's all just proving people right when they trust you. That's mine, right? So if with integrity, I don't know what I'm selling, or if I'm starting to kind of grasp it a little bit, but not to a point where I should be advising you, no, I'm not going to do that. But dude, real estate markets and different stuff, after looking at commercial things and traffic patterns, what we were doing with fitness stores, it just made more sense. And like civil law, criminal law, same book, man. Like I understood the contracts. Like it just made more sense to me. I'm like, look, whether you think this life insurance, these policy things are more lucrative overall, maybe, but this makes more sense to me. So even if you think this is a harder approach, not for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I just, hey, kind of like.
Well, again, that's not buying into your own bullshit, dude.
Well,
if you don't
just
get
being
something,
honest.
you're gonna say it.
Yeah, kind of like, hey, girls, go play golf because female golf scholarships are the number one underused scholarship ever, and the probability is so much better that you're gonna get into college. But if your daughter sucks at golf and she's an intermediate or above level at volleyball, let her play to her strength. Even though that's more lucrative and there's more people she's competing with, she's also still competing with her strengths. Don't try to force her into something because it's the probability or what you think. And this is what's so wrong. This is what's so hard with stats. What you think, the illusion of the probability you think is better, when in reality she sucks at golf and there's a cap on her. And even if she was the only female golfer, they're still not giving her ass a scholarship because she sucks. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
why
it's
you
like,
need
dude,
feedback, bro.
you might think that this 401k stuff is more lucrative and you don't like this, but look, man, that's my strength. And then being around people for the duration of a transaction also fed my strength. So I don't care if the market's saturated with realtors. I don't care if this and that and that and this. Doesn't matter. If
there's 1,000 reasons
good, man,
we couldn't.
Good enough.
There's 1,000 reasons we shouldn't do real estate.
If you're good enough, you're going to rise to that top. You're going to be
you
competitive and you're going to be more successful there versus trying to play the odds and then work somewhere where it's not necessarily your strength, man. I don't like that.
Yeah. Same, dude.
And I don't like fuckheads.
Same.
You're a fuckhead. Don't talk to me like that. I just don't like, because I would never say that to someone.
Yeah.
If someone walked into our office and the roles were reversed and you introduced me to one of your buddies, hey, man,
brand new.
Hey, this is my buddy so-and-so, and he's thinking about real estate, but he's also thinking like 401ks and stuff. Pfft, dumb. My buddies do that. I make way more money than they do.
Dude.
What the fuck do I look like saying that? I don't even know this guy.
So
have any
bad.
context on him. Like, I'm not going to give him anything. Like,
So
hey,
bad.
Kev, whatever your name is, cool, man. Like, nice to meet you, dude. Welcome to the office, man. Like, if you got questions or, whatever, man. Like, hey, use me as a resource, man. I'm here. Nice to meet you. And then that's it, dude.
Yep.
Acting like that, I'm like, you know what? Even if this industry was for me, This team isn't, because you acting like that. Look, dude.
Well, I'm glad they did, because then you wouldn't have ended up here, man.
It's all about you, isn't it? Somehow you figure out a way to
It's all about us. It's all about us, Will.
I know. I'm being more empathetic.
It's all about us.
Take the camera off and fucking drink. But that's all I got today, man. Just,
same.
Just a couple of rants, a couple of bullshits, you know. Hey, listen, if you're out there talking politics, stop it. You don't know more than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like, be curious, be educated.
Here's the thing. It's the fucking bumper sticker. You're not going to change anyone's mind with your Facebook post, right? You're not going to change anyone's mind with your fucking bumper sticker.
I'm just, and, you know, I'm curious. I'm not against people posting an article or posting a paragraph or 9 on their political beliefs. You know, like, okay. And let's take it outside of politics so it doesn't get so sensitive.
Yeah.
Try to ask yourself, just a suggestion.
Okay.
I guess for you too. Like, and I'm trying to get better at this too, right? With just being more deliberate and intentional with what I'm trying to do. And like, hey, if you're going to put something out there, why? You know what I mean? Like, hey, why am I doing it? Am I venting? Am I mad? Am I seeking positive reinforcement? And usually a lot of that social media stuff. And I don't mind it. Look, man, I'm human. I like when people support what I'm doing, man. It feels good, you know?
Be self-aware, man.
But just understand, like, okay, what am I, like this article and this, like, you're, you know, whatever you're doing. Hey, why am I doing that?
And be mindful.
Well, just question yourself.
Yeah, be mindful.
What's my objective with this, with me writing this? Am I educated? Do I know what I'm talking about? Or am I regurgitating the last 4 weeks I've seen on my news channel versus the others? You know, like, really question that. And if you want to put something out there, just try to, like, okay, why?
Yeah.
You know, because, and again, dude, we love patting each other on the fanny. You see it. You get 1 or 2 people opposing you. You call them an idiot. And then the majority is just your friends. Yeah, right on. Like,
you up. That's your answer to why people do it. By the way,
it might be that support, that positive reinforcement, but does that make you feel better about
dopamine dump?
Well, and right, it could be. And does that make you feel better about the decisions that you're choosing to make, or the stance you choose to take, or and that's with everything. Like you know what? I'm also seeing a lot of posts about guns, not like gun policy, but like, look at my gun.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
You see, I'm fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying?
For those of you that aren't watching, my fucking guns are on me all the time. But that's another one. Like, I'm just like, I'm not against hunting, obviously. I'm not against guns, obviously. I just, when people post that stuff, I'm just like, why? Why is it so necessary? And I'm not against it. So
yeah, if you want to post your gun, post your fucking gun.
No, fuck that. I'm not that open to
People
it.
can post whatever the fuck they want.
I know they can.
Yes.
Thank you for checking.
If you want to post your gun, post your gun.
Thank you.
But
what I'm getting at is, like, I'm just okay. Like, why? Like, are you a concealed carry person? Are you, like, I post my kids. Some people choose not to. So, okay, cool. For discretion. So I guess when it comes to weapons, I'm more discretion. I'm more like, listen, I like concealed carry. I like element of surprise, because that's part of having momentum and an upper hand. If you ever have to pull a weapon in any scenario, one thing I promise you're going to want is an advantage. Okay? The upper hand, either the element of surprise, the element of an angle, the element of elevation, the element of superior fire, like something.
Yeah.
So open carry bothers me. I think if you're proactive enough to carry open carry, go through a class, get your concealed carry, so no one knows you have it, and you're not causing any attention to yourself. And if you ever have to save yourself or someone else, the chances of you having an upper hand or that element of surprise and that just that very assertive taking action, eliminate a threat before it even knows you're there. Win. Right. In addition to that, I don't need people knowing how many guns I got, what I got, and how I got. I guess for me, how some people have discretion with their children, apparently I don't. If my kids were guns, they'd be all over the social media, because I'm just proud of them and I like them and I'm a proud dad. I like sharing their stories and their life. I guess where I have the discretion is, like, listen, don't think for a second, right, that I'm not. Right. I think most would, if they know my past, they probably do know, right? Like, might be one point at you right now, right under this table. You never know, right? You would know, because you get under the table. Right? I'm kidding. But you know what I'm saying? I guess I just have more discretion with that stuff, because
and
here's why I think, man, like, if you own a rifle range, or like I've got some friends that are cops and they own a range, and they're sometimes they'll show weapons and give examples of, hey, here's what this is and here's kind of how this operates, and they're doing it for their business and for the education.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see people doing it merely to like look at me, I bought a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, but part of like that weapon, right? Like that's not a toy. Like that's a weapon.
That's the thing. People
right?
have people have different reasons for buying guns. People have different, like again, some it's a fucking death machine. Some it's, hey, look at this cool thing.
Yeah.
And I think
that's hard for me.
Yeah, you've got a very like authentic relationship with weapons. That I think a lot of people don't have. I think they're a novelty to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true too. And that's why I'm saying, like, hey, I'm not telling you not to post guns. I just, sometimes I'm looking at some of my friends on social media. I'm just like, man, I wonder why you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not against it. I'm not assuming you're doing it for anything, but again, are you doing that so other pro-gun people or other people with beards and drinking IPAs can like say cool, right? Like
that's it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And then here's the thing.
That's having the new shoes on at school,
but then who
and
am I?
going up to sharpen your pencil.
Right, but then who am I? Like, hey, what if it is for that? So what? Who am I to say that that's not okay? You know what? It's not for me to say.
Yep.
However, I just choose not to do that. But you're right, man. It might just be my experience and my intimacy with.
It's a novelty.
Weaponry.
It's a new pair of shoes for a lot of fucking people, dude.
Yeah,
it really.
And
is.
again, that's a great, and that's why it's good to have like a civilian or just a different partner, right? Because you see that very clearly. I don't. I ponder things like that, and they don't have my lens. They don't use them for what we used them for, and what I still house them for.
To be,
big time. So, it's just being more open minded. But then sometimes I do wish people could kind of see my lens, because I think
fuck them, dude. Fuck them at the same time. Fuck them.
What are you talking about?
You got the right.
Yeah,
that's the beautiful thing about like having an open mind and just like whatever.
But
you got the right to say, hey, fuck these people.
Yeah, you can. And,
it's awesome. I love it.
But I do also, and I don't want to sound too closed off, because there's a lot of things I'm open to now that maybe I wouldn't have been open to back in the day. And it is fun, open discussion, and just getting people's and not going in with like a notion or a presumption of what you want to think prior to hearing someone. Just going in open minded and just hearing why, just listening to like their own justifications for why they do what they do, and even if you still don't agree with them at the end, because sometimes the mission isn't to agree, and I think that's the problem too. Anytime we have discussions, like there has to be like a winner and a loser. Like, no, man, like I can sit down and talk to 5 guys that I can think of right now on social media doing that stuff with weapons, and like I can go in and talk to them. And like, why? What's that all about? Like, and hey, don't get crazy with me. Just fucking talk to me. What's up, man? And they could tell me, and I could leave that conversation and still not agree with them, but just be a little bit more enlightened to why they choose to do things, and like it's that's where conversations become fun. It's just when you're safe enough to understand that there doesn't have to be like this mutual agreement or someone giving in and taking a side. No, man, you can still at the end of the day walk away and still choose to do your own thing, but just have a little bit more like clarity and enlightenment to like why people do what they do, and not necessarily, again, not having to agree with them, just understanding like where the motivation comes from.
I just like different people, dude. I like people. I like people mixing it up and just having an opinion, and like it just makes life interesting.
Or
dude.
Finding out they don't have an opinion.
It makes life interesting.
Come on, man. Hey, cut that out.
It makes life interesting.
It does, man. But again, the biggest thing was that, right? Like when I'm watching behavior this week on social media about the impeachment. Some of you didn't go to high school. Some of you missed government class. Like, wait, you went to government class? Hold on. Oh, then I want to go. Hold on a minute. Be for real. You didn't see someone else post this, so now you know that the impeachment doesn't count yet, or you didn't Google it. Yeah. You knew raw. You knew raw. You went. You saw someone's post. Oh, he's impeached, and you went, and you went.
Oh,
no,
you don't know that?
I remember in government class my junior year, it has to go here. You fucking organically thought that. Hey, come on. Man. Don't go into social media and then like you're so much smarter and pretentious than everyone because you know it goes here. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
No, not okay. And you Googled it, fine. My biggest thing is like, I guess the biggest frustration I have is for any guy, and I don't necessarily think this is true, but they always say like guys who fought for our freedom and this and that, like they're the ones that deserve a bigger voice than anyone because they lived it. Like, no, guys lived it so you could have a voice, which means every American has equal right, equal opportunity to voice. That's why they did that. They chose to do that. It doesn't give them more right. It might give them more perspective on certain things, but not more right to have a voice. Everyone has a voice. My thing is when I think we're all bottom feeders, man. We're all tilapia. Yeah. Just eating this shit from the media and from smoke and mirrors. For us everyday people, I just have a hard time when someone thinks that the information they're getting is just so much better. Well, my cousin works for the DEA. And come on, dude. Listen to me. I've done a lot of sneaky shit, okay? You don't know more anything.
Yeah.
You don't think guys that work federal jobs or government contractors, like you don't think that they're shielded and they know what they know for the scope of their mission and that's it? You think they know the grand scheme? And no, they don't. Do this, do that, right? Like, come on, man, don't go there. And I don't like seeing all the hate amongst just everyday people, and good folks too, man. Like the people I'm seeing like kind of throw some shit at each other. I'm like looking at him. I'm like, I know I've met this guy before.
Like,
I've never met this guy, but it seems like a nice guy. He's a hardworking guy. And here you guys are just throwing like some shade at each other.
Yep.
And then you guys think that like the content from the media you're getting is just so much better than the other to a point to where you want to hate your fellow man. I don't like that.
I guarantee if they were sitting in the same room together, it would not be like that.
Well, one of them's going to fuck you up. Like if it's me, you're not going to talk to me. Because my thing, dude, and you know me, I'm not an angry guy, dude. If you come at me in a certain way in person, that's going to stop right now because it has nothing to do with politics. You're talking to me as a man now. And yeah, dude, I'm going to stomp you.
But
it's not politics. It's like, hey, don't think you can treat another human like that.
Yeah.
With no bearing. Like,
well, there's something that happens, dude, when you take away facial expression and you take away body language and you take away the physical presence of someone else being near you.
Real confrontation, man.
And it makes you just...
the human element.
It just makes you not as much of a fucking asshole. Like you're more likely to listen to somebody when you can see their body language, hear their tone of voice, see their facial expression versus just this like thought out text message or something. Like,
but if there's a ton of people there in security, you might still act out or throw a shoe. I don't know.
Well, this is why, again, people in the cars.
But if one guy and another guy went into a rubber room and closed the door.
Well,
they're going
to
be a little bit more respectful because they have to adhere to that human element that like, hey, if I cross the line, this guy might hurt me and vice versa. And it just allows, it's just, dude, it's real. It's real. Though, like that is real. And so, yeah, man, some of the guys are, and I also don't, man, again, I just don't like the hate.
Yeah.
You know, like you're taking your frustration out on social media. Somebody doesn't have your beliefs, so they're an idiot. And it's not just the one guy
people need a mission, dude. If people don't have a mission, if you're not trying to fucking do something, you're going to attach to something. You're attached to another mission. Yeah,
and just do your best to just go about your day, man. Just tackle your own shit.
Yeah,
you know, like
and get a mission. If you don't have a mission, fucking find one because some bullshit's going to become your mission. Well, it really is.
And I guess like just understanding what you can control, like you said, right? Like when you're talking like that, are you going to change someone's mind?
No.
And is you being hateful going to make you feel better? And if it does, I'm not talking to you because you're an asshole and you shouldn't listen to this podcast. But you know, if you're just outrageously being rude to people and throwing out some hate like that, does that make you feel better? I don't think it does. You know, and at the same time, it's like, hey, if you're starting to think about like, what's my objective if I post something or if I go and comment on someone's post, right? Like, what's my objective here? What am I trying to do? And did I accomplish it? Did I not accomplish it? Is it getting out of hand? Is it not? Like, just give a little bit more care, even if you don't care for the person. Like that guy was being rude, right? I don't care about him. Like you're a jerk like that. However, I care about myself. I care about my own integrity. I'm not going to just lash out at you because I care about how I conduct. My own energy is how I conduct myself. But and just giving that guy a reminder, like, yeah, he deleted me. I thought it was funny. Like that's okay. But maybe I gave him a reminder. Like,
I promise
don't treat girls like that.
When he goes to talk shit to somebody like that next time, he's probably going to think twice.
Maybe
he's like, oh, other people are reading this.
Yeah, 100%. But not to get too political. It's more about and it's not really political. I guess before since we're going to end this now at almost an hour and a half, like. I think what I'm trying to say, like whether it's political or not, it's the human interaction around it. Whether it's politics or the Olympics or whatever it is, man. Like, I don't like watching society hate each other when really like, hey, look, we're all just we're literally tilapia. We're eating the shit from these super fancy fish up at the top of the
whatever
water.
being fed.
Whatever we're being fed.
Yeah.
It's a like
You got no choice.
It's really hard to sign off on anything that we're being, that we're being fed, especially to the point where I'm going to hate a fellow man over beliefs, thinking that mine and my content or where I'm getting my information is just so much better. It's not, and and even if I believe something, like if I watch the news, if I'm watching whatever's, and I have my own beliefs on politics. Let's use that since we're talking politics. I might have my own belief structure, but to the point where I'm going to throw hate toward a fellow man. Look, man, I'm not backing the media that much. I might formulate my own opinion based off of watching all I can watch.
Well,
but not to the point where I'm just so invested that I hate another guy.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, to me, it's just simple. I understand that people's beliefs are based off their experiences. We're not born with fucking beliefs. You're not born...
Or lack of experience.
You're not born... Their experiences, they're just their life, right?
Yeah.
If you're not born a fucking Democrat or you're not born a fucking Republican or whatever, right? Like, it's your experiences that lead you to believe a certain way, good and bad. Everyone has different experiences.
Well, and
right?
just your inability to process thought.
Everyone
like,
grows
there are
up,
some people that are just ignorant, dude.
Everyone grows up, completely. But again, their experiences, they're just like.
But that's where you have to watch it. So if you're watching this and you think, or you're listening to this and you think that, hey, I'm not that guy. I have a sense. Like I'm smart or whatever. Like if you're watching somebody completely ignorant, do you really want to comment? Are you really going to get much out of that? You're not going to change your mind. Like, are you going to put the energy out?
You're not going to change. You're not going to change.
Dude, I still hear people argue about Ford and Chevy. And I'm like, listen, dude, what are you doing with that truck? You driving to work? Listen to me. All trucks are pretty damn good nowadays. Okay, they're all military grade metal and yada 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 yada. Listen to me. Drive what you like, okay? Don't tattoo it on your fucking arm, and don't go running around saying "fuck, dude." But a lot of that, like, and I do ponder that, like, why? Like, do you need an identity? Do you need to take? Does taking a side give you identity? I might not have good perspective on that because, like, I come from like the Marine Corps. I come from police world, and I've had identity. I've earned it. I also have independence and understand how to be a thinker. And maybe there's just people out there that like they have to choose a side because they have to belong to something or have an identity. You can't be one of those, you know what I mean? Like when people get mad at atheists, that's a whole other podcast. But like, hey man, are they that far fetched? Like no one really knows. Okay,
well, and
no one really knows. Like, and I'm not saying I'm atheist. So don't get all weird on me. I'm not saying I'm not. Whatever. Listen to me. No one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows. So. Is it terrible that they think that way?
Well, and regardless of what the situation is, if someone doesn't agree with you, just understand that, I mean, dude, literally anything could have happened to anyone growing up, right? Maybe their parents died in a car accident and that's why they're a fucking atheist, right? Like you just don't, like, you can never know what someone went through to lead them to believe what they believe. So in that case, like Will said, you got to ask yourself, all right, is it worth me even putting the energy out there? And is that going to do anything for this person's life or my life?
Yeah. And I'll say this much, not to get political. You know when, like you say, like people seek me out because I'm going to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Like sometimes I'm not easy on them, but it's for their benefit. Understand this in politics. The side who sounds like they're pro you, might not be pro you. They might just be marketing pro you to get your votes. When in reality, maybe the other side isn't so easy on you. Like they expect you to get a job. They expect you to just not be on the nipple of America forever. They expect you to go produce for yourself. But along with that, they're giving you other opportunity, and that's the harder route. But it's actually for your benefit. Just give that some thought, okay? Just understand, like someone holding out candy isn't necessarily on your side. They might be trying to throw you into a van and ass rape you. Okay, and just give that some. And I'm not going to point fingers or say sides, but just understand that just because they're portraying that they're for the people or for you or for minorities or for the working man, like, and it sounds easy and soft and comforting, doesn't mean that that's best for you, right? So you just have to understand that. And
be a thinker.
And the reason why I'm saying that is like, give out if that gives you enough to just go listen to what the other side's actually doing, it might actually be tough love, but what you need, right?
Whatever side that may be.
Whatever side that may be.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
just going to leave that at that.
Yeah.
But just some dudes holding out candy doesn't mean that white
That's
van
true.
behind him isn't going to like fuck your world up,
I got
okay?
some,
Like,
I got some
understand
candy
that.
for you, bro.
Listen to me. If it's too good to be true, it's fucking too good to be
probably
true,
is.
okay? Like,
It probably is.
especially with politics.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, happy
This was
Friday,
a good
Eli.
episode, man.
Great episode, man. Hour and a half
Yeah,
of talking
thanks for
shit.
listening to our bullshit,
This
guys.
was not productive for you. I'm sorry
We
about that.
appreciate that. We're
Got to know us a little bit better.
43 episodes in.
It's been a fun
We'll be
time,
at
man.
50 before long.
Yeah,
I
and
know,
if you're
man.
listening to this as well, we have we're gonna be doing we have a guest on next week, next Monday.
Alex Cornelius.
Alex Cornelius Continuous.
Yeah, he's got a crazy last name.
Well, yeah, he's
Great
awesome.
dude, great at sales. You'll like him.
He's got a cool story, not
Yeah.
just because he's great at sales. He's got a
Yeah.
cool story. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff with him this year. We want to have him on, and he's a newfound friend of ours,
Yeah.
rapidly growing friend. We have a lot of events with him that's coming up, and he's a solid guy, and he's got a cool story about just Chicago and just kind of growing up.
Super cool guy.
And we're going to get it out of him. We've got to put some whiskey in him and some
We
weed.
will. We might have to have
We're
a
gonna
few
get it out of him.
drinks prior to even coming.
We're going to
on
get
air.
it out of him. But he's a cool guy. And then
yeah.
after that, we're going to end the year. December 30th will be our last one of the year. And that's right before, obviously, New Year's. So we're going to do like a year recap and like what's working, what's not working, and just kind of try to give some review and shed some light on just some good stuff there. So should be 2 good episodes before the end of the year. And then obviously we'll be right back on at the beginning of the year, and I think we'll probably start that with something with fitness because people like losing their weight again on fitness. So I think we'll do some fitness.
We got to get Dr. Chris on here, man.
He's awesome.
He'd come in, right? He'd come in.
Dr. Chris,
He would do
the
it.
doctor.
Yeah, we got.
If you guys are wondering why I'm so beautiful,
he'd have his dip in his mouth.
top
and
5
shit.
and just fucking shredded. And Dr. Chris takes credit. No, he's a good dude.
Yeah,
Love
we
that
should hit him
guy.
up.
So I think we'll do some fitness stuff toward the beginning of the year. That's always good, man. People, and here's the other thing. Okay, you shouldn't use New Year's as your motivator. True, but some people do. A lot of people do. So for those of people that do, we'll have some cool fitness stuff on and just some different ideologies between intermittent fasting and counting your calories and what are macros and types of training. We're going to dive into that. I think we're also going to dive into some goal setting. I came up with a really cool trifecta today, like a 3-pillared stage, like a 3 phases of conversion. I think I want to give to the podcast. So I think we'll go over some great fitness stuff on top of just overall goal setting, because I think goals are important. How you structure goals and how you go about them is even more important.
Like, hey, I have a toilet paper right in their camera.
We're talking shit today.
We got running. Yeah, he's talking shit today.
We're talking
That
shit
was a
today.
good one. That was a good one.
Hey, I'm witty.
I like that.
I'm witty. You'll never catch me
All right,
slipping.
guys. Thanks for listening to our shit.
Out.
That's a
Happy
good
Friday.
podcast. We'll see you guys.